So, you mentioned how you've been through the drafting of a first-round quarterback that you've traded up to go get and then sit him for the bulk of an entire season with the exception of the last game in Patrick Mahomes, while Alex Smith took all the other starts. What did Mahomes learn, did you think, that you think could be translatable to Justin Fields? Like, literally, we've all seen what Mahomes has become. What did he glean? Like, what you had a front row seat for that. What do you think he gleaned that you think Justin Fields could glean from that?
I think number one is understanding what the tempo is like in practice. So he got to see what was Alex's routine every day. How did he start practice with his warm-ups, with his throws? How did he communicate with players in between practice and series on offense with things that they're doing right or wrong, or how does he get extra work after practice? How do you watch tape? So we can all put on the video and say, hey, yeah, I just watched the game of the San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings, but what are you really watching? What kind of cut-ups are you watching? How are you taking notes? What time are you getting in the morning, and why are you getting in that early or that late? How late are you staying? Are you investing in your body? Are you lifting weights Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or is it 3 days a week or 2 or 3 days a week? Listening. I think the greatest thing that Patrick did, and this is in his DNA, it's very natural for him, is he came in day one and he came in and he listened. He was an observer, and he listened to what Alex said. He watched him. He took notes. And there might have been some things that he wanted to ask him, but he waited for the right time to do it in front of the right people. And then inevitably over time, by the end of the week, in that game that you just mentioned, that Patrick got his first start against the Broncos in Denver, week 16, by that end of the season, Alex was now asking Patrick questions about what he's seeing with the opposing defense. To me, that was more powerful than anything. They built trust in one another, and they did it the right way. They took the egos and they threw them out the door. Patrick was willing to learn from Alex. Alex was willing to learn from Patrick, and it was a win-win for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that, to me, for Patrick, he'll always look back, I bet, and say it was a very, very valuable and important year. Is that going to happen for us? I don't know. But that's at least where we're going to start.
Well, and I think it's a terrific start, Coach, but, I'll shoot you straight. I always do that, and I always appreciate that you do the same. Kansas City's not Chicago. Alex Smith had years of playoff experience for the fan base built up. Andy Dalton's coming in. We all know Andy's got some experience winning championships in the AFC North. But I don't know if you're going to have the luxury that you're referring to. And I'm wondering how do you prepare for that you want to hold off, but maybe circumstances won't allow you to, Coach.
Yeah, so and that's very, very real and true. And it is. That's why I say it is slightly different, because Alex did have those 4 years and playoff games with his own teammates, coaches, and City that Andy doesn't have. Andy hasn't been with any of these players yet, let alone any one season. So that's where we got to make sure, meaning myself and our coaching staff, that the scenario that plays out is right for Justin and the Chicago Bears. And what I mean by that is Justin has to be ready. The worst thing that we could do is put Justin into a situation where there's some, where he failed and it's hard for him. Now, is there going to be times where he fails? Absolutely. That's how you learn. But we will know if Justin gives us a better chance to win than Andy does, then that's something that we, and myself as the head coach who makes the decision, will have to make that choice. We have a lot of belief with the roster that we have and the players we have that with Andy, we can do a lot of good things. But we also have to be real, and I have to be prepared for what you just brought up. And as long as we know that whoever that quarterback is, that they're better for the Bears, and if that's Justin, then we'll do that. And no matter whether it's whatever week it is, we will make sure that it's best scenario for Justin and best for the Bears.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.